Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean HBNI, Mrs. Deborah Basu, spouse of late Dr. Sekhar Basu, Mrs. Tal Basu, Dr. A.K. Anand, ex-Group Director, RPG DRC, Mrs. Mridula Badwe, Dr. P.D. Nayak sir, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the Dr. Sekhar Basu Memorial Program. Late Dr. Sekhar Basu, illustrious nuclear scientist, visionary leader, and former chairman of Atomic Energy Commission, left behind a legacy of excellence and commitment to national development. Today's program is our humble tribute to his remarkable contributions. Before we formally commence with today's proceedings, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Chief Guest, Dean, along with Mrs. Basu and family members to kindly come forward and offer floral tributes to the portrait of late Dr. Sekhar Basu as a mark of our deep respect and remembrance. I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly present a bouquet to our chief guest, Dr. R.A. Badwe. Sir, I again request you to kindly present a bouquet to Mrs. Deborah Basu as a token of our respect and gratitude.
Sir, please, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now to begin with the proceedings, I now request Professor A.K. Tyagi, Dean, to kindly deliver welcome address.
Dr. R.A. Badwe, chief guest and speaker of today's function, Honorable Vice Chancellor HBNI, respected Shri A.K. Anand Sir, Dr. Basu's family members, Mrs. Badwe, Dr. P.D. Nayak, all the colleagues sitting over here from HBNI and BARC, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all on this annual program of HBNI. 24th September is a sad day for all of us because it was on this day in 2020, 5 years back, Dr. Sekhar Basu, former chairman of Energy Commission and secretary to DAE, left all of us untimely. It's a huge loss for our department and for the nation at large. In order to pay our rich tributes to Dr. Basu, SBNI initiated this annual program. On this day, we all assemble and pay our respect to the departed soul. Today also, following the traditions of last 4 years, we have organized this program. I'm extremely grateful to the family members of Basu sir and chief guests, of course, and all of you for gracing the occasion. With these remarks, let me once again welcome you all to this program. I'm sure you all are eagerly waiting for the address by Dr. Badwe. Thank you very much.
Now we will have a slide flow on the life and work of Dr. Sekhar Basu, highlighting his enduring contributions and achievements. moving forward, now I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor U. Kumars, and we will do our opening remarks, please.
Very good morning, Honorable Chief Guest for the 5th Dr. Sekhar Basu Memorial Program, Dr. Rajendra Badwe, Mrs. Basu, Mrs. Doll, Mrs. Badwe, Dr. Anand, distinguished colleagues from HKD Central Office and from our CIs and OCC who have joined online. A warm welcome to all of you. Today, we are honoring our former Chairman, Council of Management, Secretary DAE and Chairman AEC, Dr. Sekhar Basu, paying homage to him and organizing this memorial program with a lecture by an eminent person on a topic of interest very close to the hearts of Dr. Sekhar Basu. Since 2021, we had 4 eminent speakers. The first lecture was delivered by Dr. V.K. Saraswat, honorary member of Niti Aayog. The second lecture was delivered by Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, former chairman ISRO and member Atomic Energy Commission. And third lecture was delivered by Sri S.K. Sharmaji, former CMD NPCIL. And last year, 2024, we had with us Sri S.A. Bharadwaj, former chairman AERB, delivering the lecture. I'm very proud that today we have Dr. Rajendra Achyut Badwe, who had very close interaction with Dr. Sekhar Basu directly when he was serving as the director of the Tata Memorial Center. And I'm very proud that he kindly consented to our request to come over here to deliver this memorial lecture. To say briefly, Dr. Badwe currently is the honorary professor emeritus and former director Tata Memorial Center. He has more than 35 years of diverse experience as a surgeon and oncologist and as director. And as director, he has led many Tata Memorial Center, a world-renowned institution in the field of cancer care. He is an international opinion leader in oncology, developing breast cancer care strategy, innovative research, integrating delivery systems, improving quality and cancer management programs, and capacity building of staff on cancer care delivery strategy and practice issues. His significant accomplishments in leadership in cancer care are a testimony to his role as a mentor in developing the cancer care strategy for Government of India and World Health Organization. His pioneering work on timing of surgery for breast cancer has induced a paradigm shift towards importance of events at the time of surgery. He is a member of many editorial boards, prestigious national and international bodies, speaker in many national and international meetings, and has more than 232 publications to his credit in the specialized area of oncology. He is a recipient of prestigious national awards, honors, and gold medals, including the highest civilian honor of Government of India, Padma Shri, by the President of India, and the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence in Public Administration, Academics and Management, both received in the year 2013. His international recognition includes prestigious awards from the National Cancer Institute, United States of America, and the Union for International Cancer Control, amongst others. We are very proud that Dr. Rajendra Achyut Badwe accepted to our request, and he will be delivering an oration on DAE's trust with cancer care in India. I'm very proud to invite you, sir, to deliver your honor lecture in memory of Dr. Sekhar Basu.
Thank you, Professor Yukamachandri. It is indeed an honor and prestige for me to deliver this talk. And I am reminded of multitudes of times that I have interacted with Dr. Sekhar Basu, formally as part of meeting the Secretary DAE, but a lot more informally at home talking about things which were completely new for him, and he would give inputs which were so very unique, speaking of his insight in understanding what's being spoken to him about. And with all that aura and knowledge, what was remarkable was the humility with which he would come across. It's extremely difficult to have an individual who is so very knowledgeable, so very effective at ground level in all aspects, and yet be humble. So, over and above that, I used to love entering the kitchen with him and looking at some of the culinary delights that he would talk about. So, multifaceted and huge amount of learning that can happen from Dr. Basu. Can I have the next slide, please? I can do it from here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there. So when I received a call from the Vice Chancellor, I said, let me give it a thought as to what should I be talking. And I thought this aspect of cancer was very close to Dr. Basu's heart, that it is most unlikely that Department of Atomic Energy is dealing with health. Doesn't happen anywhere else. And Department of Health has a lot of heartburn about it, I suppose. Especially when we are successful a lot more than otherwise. But let me take you through the history as to how it began and what level are we on today. So the beginning was in somewhere in 1962. The rumblings had begun about 3 years in advance. And these are excerpts from a book which describes how things began. That in October of 1960, Dr. Homi Bhabha wrote to J.R.D. Tata that this institute, which was run by House of Tatas, was truly in shambles because it was handed over to Department of Health, and was starved of funds as well as anybody giving any additional thoughts to it. And that crumbling of an institute which was of great repute hurt Homi Bhabha very badly. And that's where he made this suggestion. And when I went through some of the records, there are multitudes of individuals, including some of the eminent individuals from Marie Curie lab and other important individuals who are dealing with energy in United States, from Stanford, from Harvard, and from Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital, stating that and telling the individuals in Tata Hospital that please go to Dr. Homi Bhabha and request him if something can be done about it, because he has access to all important individuals, including the Prime Minister. And I stumbled upon some letters wherein Dr. Bhabha had addressed the Prime Minister saying that, dear Bhai, I'll be coming next week for such and such a thing. Can we have lunch together? So that was the kind of proximity. And he had earned that proximity out of his contribution to atomic energy. And then, this is not, okay, it has moved. It hasn't moved here. Because of his proximity to various individuals, and this is a very famous picture wherein rubbing shoulders with Wheeler, Einstein, wherein it was understood that United States, the Energy Department of United States, was running 4 cancer hospitals at that time in United States, only because of the utilization of radiation for treatment of cancer. Although there was similar research going on as to whether radiation will cause cancer, but kaate se kaata nikalne, it's that kind of thought process which was prevalent at that time. And today, if I were to see 100 patients walking into any cancer hospital, somewhere close to about 75% of them will need radiation of some form, either for diagnostics or for therapeutics. He then, because of his proximity, approached Nehru, and I stumbled upon another interaction written there. Oh, sorry. This went more than, okay. So I don't know whether this happened or not, but it's there as part of the book. What, homie, exclaimed the Prime Minister. You now want to run a cancer hospital? I'm not so sure you should, but go ahead if you feel it is necessary. So with a stroke of pen, that's what happened. And we are in a very different situation today. I draw a parallel between that and exactly the same year, there was another hospital in Kolkata, Chittaranjan Cancer Hospital, which was handed over to, it was a trust hospital at that time, handed over to Department of Health. I don't have to say anything more than that. If you were to visit any of the Tata hospitals across India and visit Chittaranjan, you will find the difference what Department of Atomic Energy has made as far as this is slightly okay.
Because of distance.
Oh yeah, okay, right. Where should I point it? Point it to your okay, point there. Okay, fine, thank you. And then in 1962, the President of India signed the transfer of this, wherein the House of Tatas handed over all the land, the building, all the technicalities, all the instrumentation, everything came to Department of Atomic Energy. And after that, I don't think the hospital has looked back as far as what can be done as far as cancer is concerned. At that moment, the focus of the mission statement of Tata Hospital said service, education, and research. And I'll take you through for each of them what Department of Atomic Energy has done so that we were the premier institute in 60s and we continue to be premier institute today. And the last peer review report, wherein 15 experts from across the globe spent one full week at Tata Hospital to review the processes and the present condition. And the only sentence at the beginning of their summary of the executive report, which is a 50-page report which was tabled in Parliament, it says that this institute is undoubtedly one of the top 10 institutes globally and has the capability of getting into the top 5 institutes globally for treatment of cancer. These are not a single Indian in that, individuals, experts from various parts of the world who came and spent and reviewed us. I'll quickly run you through the services that are provided and what contribution has come. State-of-art infrastructure, and it has remained state-of-art because of, again, sustained support and interaction. The hub and spoke model, again, a suggestion that came from Dr. Basu as one of the ways in which we could disseminate across India the National Cancer Grid and the Navya, one of the search engines, AI-based engine that is run by Tata Hospital. Summary of what has happened at each time, and there has been support from Department of Atomic Energy. The first linear accelerator in India came in 1978 in Tata Hospital. In 1983, with all the support that we could get, we were the first hospital to perform bone marrow transplant in India. India's first tissue bank, wherein radiated tissue could be put back into human body with least amount of reaction, something which is now standard, again happened for the first time in 1988. The first PET CT scan came in at Tata Hospital in India for the first time. And as recent as in 23 and in 24, in 1923, the first 3 gantry proton therapy machine with more than 25% of indigenous hardware, that it is manufactured in India. All 3 gantries were manufactured in India. Although the technology came from Belgium, but our tender conditions were such that at least 25% of the hardware should be manufactured in India. And the company is saying you have done a great job by saying this, because now that has become source for the rest of the world for IBA, their proton therapy unit. And the first indigenous CAR T cell therapy, again, an interaction between BRC experts, IIT Mumbai, and Tata Hospital has resulted in this CAR T cell therapy being given. By now, as we speak, somewhere close to about 90 individuals have received CAR T cell therapy. The cost of CAR T cell therapy in United States is approximately $500,000, 4.5 crores for a single treatment. We give this treatment because of, again, indigenization and shaking hands with IIT Tata, as well, IIT Mumbai, as well as BRC. We are able to give this treatment at 22 lakhs of rupees per individual. Out of the 90 individuals who have received CAR T cell therapy, 60% of them have got it free of charge. Again, support from Department of Atomic Energy. And if I were to elaborate further on this, if I were to look at why is it so expensive now? Even if 22 lakhs, it is beyond the capacity of a common man. And there is a vector that we need to import as part of the CAR T cell therapy. And this vector cost, this comes from outside India, it costs 16 lakhs. There are at least 5 companies which are working on it, and I'm sure within a year's time it will be available at maybe a lakh of rupees. And the cost will reduce from 23 to probably 4 lakhs of rupees. So again, indigenization and having pride in what we do is what DAE teaches each one of us at the Tata Memorial Hospital. I'll quickly run through some of the technical issues which have made us extremely good. Again, input from Computer Division of Department of Atomic Energy and BRC. We have a hospital information system, an electronic medical record, which is paperless from 2013. From 2013, the papers are made when patients want and patients take them away. But their records remain with us in electronic form, and these are accessible from any part of the world to the individual patient with his or her own password. Nobody else can access it. And if the patient goes to some other hospital as an emergency, that doctor will be able to see what has happened to this patient earlier at Tata Hospital, and that continuity of care will be maintained wherever patient goes. Not only that, this system since 2013 is working to date. We are looking at 12 years with somewhere close to about 80,000 new patient record and 800,000 follow-up records every year for last 12 years. And in 12 years, the downtime of this system has been 45 minutes. That's it. So inputs from various departments within Department of, sorry. Sometimes this technology is upside. So the systems, I mean, the images, which are vitally important as a doctor, and if I see the image immediately, rather than carrying a film from somewhere, then looking at the film, that is also available online. These images can be seen anywhere in the world by the patient and any doctor that wants to look at it. And no space required to store these films within Tata Hospital. Again, technology. There is technology wherein we have cashless transactions. Again, the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs did mention this as one of the first in India, that an individual comes, gets a card, he or she puts in money, and with that card he or she can go within hospital. So this is a kind of debit card within hospital, and that debit card can run to any other Tata hospital within the country. So that continuity remains. There are alarms sent by the system, the EMR, to the individual as soon as the reports are ready. So there is a registered telephone number of every patient that gets to know. So the use of technology to the extent we can so that accessibility is there and easily individuals can do what they are supposed to do wherever. We also have the extent of purchase of large amount of medicines, that the medicine typically within Tata Hospital dispensary will be about, on an average, 75 to 80% cheaper than what's available in the market. This is the heat map of from hospital, and what we do in hospital. I'll take you to India. This is the heat map of 1 year of registration of patients from various parts of India. So we did this, that in year 2013-14, we had so many patients, a great majority within Maharashtra. You will see the cluster within Maharashtra. But another great majority comes from the Northeast as well as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, both parts of Bihar, Orissa, West Bengal. So when we decided that we needed to let the Department of Health be advised as to where do we need hospital, this was the one of the best things that we could do. And as a result of that, we have had a hub and spoke model, again an idea that came from Dr. Sinha as well as Dr. Sekhar Basu, that we should be creating hub which will look after all cancers for every 40 to 50 million population, and a spoke for 10 to 15 population. So a hub would treat all cancers, common as well as rare, whereas the common cancers will be treated in spoke for delivery of care closer to homes, reducing the migration of patients to distant areas. We have specialty-based treatment. For example, I look after only breast cancer. I may oversee other cancers, but I treat only breast cancer. So that kind of focus improved the outcomes, cure rates by anywhere up to about 20-25%, a relative reduction in the deaths related to cancer. And under a comprehensive treatment care under one roof is what is being done, not just at Tata Hospital in Mumbai, but all our centers across India. I'll give you an example, 2 examples where Dr. Basu contributed maximally in conception and getting things done from government level as well as funding. This is the hospital in Muzaffarpur, which is now functional for the last 4 years. Dr. Basu came from this town and had very close to heart feeling that we should be. There was no hospital within 250 kilometers of this place, and patients needed to travel long distances, and many times they would not take treatment. This is the hospital which is now functional, waiting for the Prime Minister to dedicate to nation, which will happen probably in a month's time. But this is a functional hospital that the Prime Minister will dedicate. So 2021, we started our services. In 2024, we have treated 6,600 patients in 1 year. So if you look at any private place, it takes about 10 years for a private cancer hospital to cross 2,000 mark. In 4 years, we have reached a 6,500 patients being treated under that roof. When even the building is now being inaugurated, that much is the need. This is the second example wherein Dr. Basu gave phenomenal amount of inputs for functionality from the point of view of getting the nuclear medicine facility as well as getting funds. This is hospital in Varanasi, wherein you see the Prime Minister dedicating this center, and Mr. Tata is next to him. The best part was, and all of the seniors would be well aware, that when a single project gets funds from 2 different sources, that's the most difficult thing to handle as far as government level. So somewhere close to about 550 crores came from House of Tatas, and Department of Atomic Energy gave about 700 crores. And that's how 2 hospitals have come in. both hospitals put together. This is a railway hospital which we took over. To the left is the old building of railway hospital. This is how it looked. To the right is the new building, which is functional. It is focused. The distance between the main hospital and this hospital is 5.5 kilometers. This hospital looks after children, women, and bone and soft tissue tumors. Because leukemia, lymphoma, and bone soft tissue affects children and adults, wherein the treatment needed to be differently done in a less crowded place. So this is what is being treated here. And the main hospital, which is about 5.5 kilometers away, that's the hospital. The left side bottom picture was the place where the hospital is now. It was called Sundar Bagia, but it was anything else but Sundar Bagia. It was a pond wherein sewage from various areas of BHU was put in. And when we went to BHU as to we need the land wherein we can create a hospital, they said, this is the land. I said, okay, we will take this land. The top part is when it is in making, being reclaimed, and the right part is the hospital which is now functional in Varanasi. You will find the middle part, the middle column here shows in this year, from 1st January, in 8 months, close to 19,000 new cancer patients have been treated. And to date, if you see last year's data, it's about 22,000 new cancer patients. I'm sure this year we'll cross 25,000 new cancer patients. No other hospital has reached a figure beyond 20,000 in 5 years in India, including original Tata Memorial Hospital. We took about 12 years to cross 20,000 mark, and this hospital has crossed it in 5 years. So again, describing the need at the local level as to how much is the need at the local level that we needed to satisfy. I wonder, where were these patients taking treatment earlier? As a result of successful implementation, we now have 10 hospitals across the country, 2 in Punjab, 2 in UP, 1 in Muzaffarpur, 1 in Guwahati, 1 in Vizag, and there is 1 in making in Orissa. There is 1 in making, a hybrid institute. Again, a suggestion from Dr. Basu that we should be inclusive as far as indigenous medicine is concerned. So this hospital, which is likely to happen in near Mumbai in Khopoli, wherein plants will be, medicinal plants will be cultivated, and Ayurveda and allopathic experts will sit across the table to decide what could be the treatment. With proper documentation, we'll try and see, run clinical trials where we should be able to, if successful, put the medicines on pedestal across the globe as to these are our medicines and they're effective against cancer. This is the details of what happens at Tata Hospital, the last column. 81,000 new cancer patients and somewhere close to about 500,000 follow-ups is what we do. The first column looks at all hospitals across India put together, 146,000 cancer patients, which in my opinion is somewhere close to about 15% of the national problem being tackled by TMC alone. Dr. Basu had predicted somewhere in 2018 that we should be crossing 125,000 individuals by 2024. We have crossed now 150,000 individuals being treated and looked after appropriately. The second program, which was launched by Dr. Kakodkar, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, way back in 2011, the National Cancer Grid. Now, if we were to create uniform care across India, we needed to create hospitals, and we have taken 12 years to create 10 hospitals. That's too slow a rate for whole of India to do it. The National Cancer Grid was formed so that existing hospitals should come together. With the last 4 lines, uniform standards across India is what is being done. and with good quality care. We have also training being done across the country. When we know that practicing doctors can't come here, our doctors visit the place and teach at any given time about 30-40 local doctors, so that that much recruitment happens rather than 30-40 or 100 coming here, which can't be more than one meeting or one day's meeting. Here our doctors go and stay there for a week and see that manpower is created. Group negotiation, I already mentioned, on an average 85% reduction compared to the MRP on the drug. A drug that cost for treatment of lymphoma 1,06,000. We purchased that drug from the original manufacturer at 20,000 rupees. And that is sold to our patient at 20,500. When the patient looks at it, it says that the price written is 1,06,000 and I'm buying it. Is that true medicine? But this is the original medicine. Look at the profit that the industry makes. I don't think they are selling it at a loss for 20,000. But that's how the thing is. But the bulk that we purchase, on an average, with all hospitals put together, in given single moment, we purchase approximately 30% of any company's annual turnover. When we buy so much of medicine from a company, they slash the prices because their sale is being done. Again, that's the advantage of group negotiation. And a lot of these medicines come very cheap. We have virtual tumor boards that happen every week, wherein 105 hospitals across India come at one time on this virtual tumor board, and difficult cases are being discussed. So that the same case, everybody learns how it needs to be treated, and that much of standardization of care happens. Again, a facility that was possible with the support from DAE as well as support from Tata Consultancy Services. We have a library, again, through Department of Atomic Energy, very cheap journals, topmost journals are easily accessible to all the experts in National Cancer Grid, 387 hospitals. We have gone across the border as part of ASEAN and BIMSTEC, and that presently Indonesia had sent a team of 40 members to Tata Hospital to understand how do we replicate what has happened here in Indonesia so that their cancer can be treated appropriately. Long ago, when Mr. Vyas was the chairman, we launched the Vishwam Cancer Care Connect, and there are approximately 14 countries who are part of this Vishwam Cancer Connect, and whatever happens in National Cancer Grid is shared with them to replicate in these countries. Creating our own Bhabatron, another collaboration between Department of Atomic Energy and Tata Hospital, clinical inputs coming from Tata Hospital, and IAEA chief in presence of Dr. Kakodkar unveiling the first Bhabatron. Giving a Bhabatron to Mongolia. This happened when Modi Sahab was the prime minister. He's the prime minister, was there too. And it happened when Dr. Basu was the chief of that team. We have done one additional thing, that we looked at Tata Hospital, we looked at branches of Tata Hospital, we looked at all other centers within India, and yet we were looking after only 70% of the patients. How do these 30% do their bit? Where do they get treated? And do they get the same care? So here is an AI-based engine which any patient can enter his or her data on the AI site. At back-end operation, this is put into fields which are important, minimum fields important for a clinician to make a decision. This is the treatment. And there is an AI algorithm which says, based on guidelines, what are the 3-4 options which are available for these patients which are evidence-based? And that is sent to a consultant in Tata Hospital. He or she then looks at it and then decides one of those four is good for this patient and it goes back to the patient as the ideal treatment for him or her. This happens in a turnaround time of 24 hours. By now, we have completed approximately 120,000 opinions, 120,000 patients. So these 30% who don't come to us, who don't go to NCG centers, get the opinion from Tata Hospital, which is evidence-based. And what's the effect? If you look at whatever there in the evidence, the first graph, the first bar is before the data was sent to us. In 70% of the patients, the treatment was appropriate as per the guidelines. But in 30% it was not. And once our opinion came to them, another 15 to 20% changed the treatment to comply with the guidelines. So if 85% of them get evidence-based guidelines, a data which is not presently possible or available in United States. So we get an inquiry from NCI saying that, what is this Navya? And Navya is a program which is created by a caregiver of one of our patients who was seriously ill and by miracle, I would say, did survive, and the caregiver was a computer expert. So it's this lady who was an ex-employee of Tata's, did this for us. So first, 80,000 opinions were given free of charge. And the best part, if this evidence-based guidelines can be done, then the government insurance individuals, Department of Health, in the states that are demarcated there, have this worry that I'm supporting some patient for this at this cost. Is that the correct treatment? So they approached Navya, TMC Navya, that we will run this. If it is evidence-based, we'll pay. If it is not evidence-based, we'll not pay. So proper use of money is an additional benefit of AI utilizing rather than another doctor telling the same thing. And finally, I told you that 120,000 opinions have been given. So we have a bibliography of or a database of patients' conditions, patients' data, and what decision has been made. This is brought in offline, and our students sit and add the fields, 13 fields that are required for opinion, and then they give their own opinion. And then this engine gives them what is the evidence-based correct opinion. So the students start learning based on only hypothetical patients, that if I were to get this kind of patient, what will be the treatment that I will suggest, and what is the treatment suggested by evidence-based algorithm. And lastly, in last 100 consecutive patients, like what the student has put in, what has been expert opinion? Even that comes to the student. So the learning process improves remarkably. We'll try and do this for all cancers. This is presently available only for breast cancer. From service, and I take you to research. Huge amounts have changed over a period of time. These are just headings. I will run you through some of them and what has been the impact of research. In the last 15 years, Tata Hospital, with the help of an entity called Department of Atomic Energy Clinical Trial Center. I remember giving a talk in a program called Vision 2020. I don't know how many of you recollect. Yes, Dr. Chidambaram thought process was that. And I gave a talk that we don't have. As a student, I'm never taught what research should be done or how research is done. As a student, I'm told that this is the knowledge, start selling. That's how medical education is. And after that talk, we got a generous support from Department of Atomic Energy to start infrastructure to run trials. This happened in 95, 96. Between 96 and now, as I mentioned, 15 protocols that have changed how to treat cancer globally. The first two are screening trials, which have happened between 97 And in 2010, we published the first report, 2020, second report, 30% reduction in deaths related to cervical cancer and 29% reduction in deaths related to breast cancer by simple interventions. Interventions that don't cost more than 100 rupees at the population level. And one of the things that was done for breast cancer early diagnosis is 10th pass students being lady students being taught how to examine breast for 2 months at Tata Hospital and then sent over in population versus awareness. And when we ran this study, at the end of 10 years, we found that there was a 30% reduction in deaths related to breast cancer by such a simple intervention. We extended that in Varanasi when we found that some of these individuals who have impaired vision, they had their tactile sensation so good that their capability of palpating breast and diagnosing breast cancer was as good as mammogram. So today we have these girls who are aged between 20 to, women, 20 to 40, they are taught what to look for. And there are about 12 of them employed by Varanasi Hospital, and they have gone into population, and they are the most sought after individuals in their own society, in their own village. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, they were useless individuals in society. But because of their capabilities, they are now doing the kind of importance in society. There are many other studies that have, again, reduced deaths to the extent wherein, if globally a woman with a 3 centimeter breast cancer tumor has a cure rate of 60%, in the last 5 years, the cure rate in Tata Hospital and all the branches of Tata Hospital for a lady with a 3 centimeter tumor is 91%. 91% chance that she will live a normal life. So that's the kind of activity, again, possible. The last word, I would say the last sentence there, act of observation changing what is being observed is what we followed after multiple discussions with Dr. Kakodkar, Dr. Chidambaram, and we applied that in medicine. And that has changed the way we think, how cancer spreads. Lots of studies have done related to it. I'll not go into the details. But a intellectual collaboration with DAE is what has happened, resulted into this. The last but not the least, collaboration with BARC for use of radioisotopes. There are, in the last decade, there are at least about 20 molecules that have been discovered, manufactured in United States and in Europe. These molecules are used for various cancers. Giving that molecule versus not reduces death rate by about 10 to 12%, but their cost, each molecule cost for a complete treatment is about 15 to 20 lakhs of rupees. So these molecules are targeted. They have a structure which allows them to home onto the tumor. But their killer capability isn't so great. It is there, but at 10%, 12%. For that, patients have to take 1 full year of treatment. What we thought after talking to individuals in VARC, that can we piggyback lutetium or iodine 131 or yttrium, something which will blast off. So a payload being carried by a bomb, which is very small, but the payload will allow greater destruction. In one of the diseases, wherein we needed to give 12 injections, the same cure rates were achieved by a single injection. Now, 1/12 the cost of treatment. If the cost is 20 lakhs, this will get over in 2 lakhs of rupees or less than that even. Now, this industry will not do. They want to sell 12 injections to every patient. So the government came forward, and we are now working on 5 such molecules, so that on an average, these molecules need to be given for 1 year. Instead, if we give in one bun and stop. Will we have the same cures? This will allow, if today 100 patients need these molecules, not more than 10 are able to purchase it. 90 don't take it. We want all the 100 to take it. And that's where the need for a reactor which will produce isotopes for us, lutetium, for example, or something which will give me actinium. In each of these will allow easy delivery, quicker delivery with efficacy which is gotten. Lots of studies have already gone through. I will not go into the details, but these are just the molecules which have been tagged with lutetium and will have an efficacy which is a lot better than otherwise. That's my last slide. I have expanded from cancer care to healthcare. And primarily what I wanted to say is that India will have to address its healthcare access challenges if economic growth is to be sustained. And DAE has a sustainable model that looks after the whole spectrum of society. When I say sustainable, we look after 80,000 new cancer patients. AIMS Delhi looks after 1 lakh patients. We treat only cancer, they treat even running nose in addition. The annual recurring budget that with we treating the whole spectrum of society for only service. I'm not talking about education and research, for that government money is required, but only for service. The annual requirement, including the salaries in AIMS, is 1,200 crores annually. And for only service, Tata Hospital takes as only one hospital, not others included, one hospital, not more than 40 crores as the amount to be spent. So sustainable model. Health Minister spent 3 days with us to understand whether this model can be implemented in all government hospitals. So that instead of 1,100, even if they were to reduce it to 100 crores, so much of taxpayers' money will be utilized, can be utilized somewhere. The second point, healthcare delivery is not a business because I can't create need in society. As a doctor, I look after reducing disease in society. If I'm selling a mobile phone, I want everybody in my precinct to have that mobile phone. But as a doctor, I don't want everybody in that precinct to be diseased. I want least disease. So everybody works towards reducing our own business, if I want to call that business. But delivery of care, QA, QC of what's being delivered, cost of that, all that is business sense. So it needs to be run like business, but it is not. The last sentence is that because we work towards our own irrelevance. And I hope that all other businesses also run like that. I remember as a schoolboy, when my dad purchased a Parker pen, the top of that Parker pen was written that this has a lifetime guarantee for structural integrity. Today we don't look at it. We just pick up a pen, use it for about a few days and throw it away. We need to look at something that lasts for our life. Cancer care is one of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Badwe, for graciously delivering the enlightening lecture and sharing your valuable insights with us. Okay. Now, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly present a memento to our chief guest as a token of our appreciation.
Are there any interesting comments, queries, and open? From online also?
Dr.
I think this lecture was timed very well pre-lunch.
Malhotra, are you, I think you are muted. We are not able to hear you. Dr. Malhotra, we are not able to hear you.
You have to unmute first. Now you are unmuted. You can speak.
Still there is a problem. No?
Some issues there.
You let him know that we are not able to hear.
Dr. Malhotra, if you are able to hear me, I must say that we are not able to hear you. We see only your lip movement.
Just wait, somebody's coming. No, not yet.
Not yet.
I think it will be good if you log out once and log in again. Occasionally there can be a problem like that.
Indian sugar.
Yes.
Malhotra ji is facing
Yes.
this problem.
There's a question here.
Yes. Please
Yes.
sit down. Sit down. You can
Please
use
sit down.
mic. You can use mic. Yeah, please put on.
Switch on. Yeah.
Okay.
Speak loudly.
You're audible.
Very good morning, sir. And it was really a fantastic lecture and it gave me a lot of insight, not only insight and how DAE and Akta family has been done extraordinary work for this type of need for the country as well as society to develop not a small thing, but it's a mission. So I would like to say thanks on behalf of DAE as well as all our seniors, the and all. Thank you for coming, sir. And my question is that you're talking about the new molecules. Those might be the game changer in the treatment of cancer. So my question is that how this is different from the existing molecules? Those are right now in the market. First, sir. And second question is that we are very much less to supply the radioisotopes right now for the India itself, not for the other country. So how we are going to make the gap fulfill in future, as Dhruva is also going to shut down in very near. You are very much aware, I think so my seniors are also aware about this. So what is our strategy so that our patients or our country people should not be affected in the future? Thank you.
So, answering your second question first, I think we need a reactor that will produce isotopes for medical use. I think it's in offing.
IPR.
Yes, and we should be able to support that. But we might need at multiple places. If you have a isotope that has a long half-life, transportation shouldn't be a problem. But there are many that have very short half-life, and then especially the diagnostic ones. We need to find ways and means of producing those locally. If it is possible through a cyclotron, that much better. But if it is not, and if it is reactor based, then we have a problem of transporting. We may have to then create for 1.4 billion individuals, maybe a similar reactor once we have effectively used. The first question, these molecules, which are actually antibodies. So they have epitopes on them which resemble, like lock and key, the surface of the tumor. The problem arises is that sometimes this affinity is nullified or reduced when an isotope is tagged. So where does the isotope get tagged onto that molecule is also equally important. So we do need two components there. One, effective infrastructure which will allow tagging done without the molecule losing its affinity for tumor, one. And second, this antibody should be beyond its patent. Because the industry will not allow you to use the same antibody. There are lots of them that are beyond patent and we can use them.
I'm working in the right now on technology transfer, and I'm also working at an incubation mission. So after that, I would like to meet you by CEO also there.
Sure.
So actually, people are thinking if we are going to produce the antibodies in the organization, from that we can incorporate have a less amount of money. Like initially, we are going to produce in some other organ, like we are going to produce the cat, this camel and all. So we have a proposal on that also right now with us. So if we will be able to find out the good epitope that contain the antibodies and if we will be able to tag the radioisotope on them. So in future, and if I will be interested to talk to you.
Sure. I mean, there are structural biologists who are capable of creating that synthetic lethality. But it's still quite nascent at the moment. And to get a humanized antibody is not so easy. On an average, the cost of creating such an antibody is quite a bit. And there are many manufacturers. The moment the antibody gets beyond its patent, there are many manufacturers in India that produce this at a low cost. But even with low cost, a treatment that needs to be given for 1 full year versus treatment being over in 1 month or by single injection makes a big difference. I know of individuals who come from other parts of country and they have difficulty staying here. And to come every month for that injection for 12 months is not easy for many of them. Non-compliance is common. That will be avoided completely by a single injection.
I have just one, not question, a comment. While it was very impressive to see that Varanasi center now number of cases would touch 25,000, at the same time, we need to worry also because as we know, prevention is better than cure anytime. If number increases, okay, we are doing great service. At the same time, there's a larger reason for worry. So one reason in that part of India is tremendous prevalence of tobacco, and that is adding to our cancer burden in society. Second reason is, I think, beyond anybody's control. I read somewhere, I discussed with Sudhir Gupta also, that it seems in Gangetic belt, mainly UP, Bihar, and West Bengal, gallbladder cancer prevalence is very high.
Yeah.
So this I don't know how to take care. What kind of filters should we use so that water becomes potable, eliminating all those factors which are responsible for higher prevalence of gallbladder cancer in UP, Bihar, and to some extent in West Bengal also.
Yes. And whole of Northeast
Whole of Northeast, yes.
has exactly the same cancer, which is not there in any other part of the world. This cancer is only there, and the only other part of the world where this cancer is common is Chile.
South America. Yes.
In Chile, it is common, and Chile is a long country.
Mhm.
In the center of that country is a river,
Exactly.
and it's only
Yeah.
along that river that there is gallbladder cancer. So there is obviously something in sweet water. And if you ask a Bengali individual, one would like to have only sweetwater fish, not the fish that comes from sea.
Mhm.
It is probably something in that sweetwater fish. So we have done one major study, not done for the first time globally, looking at is there any susceptibility of individuals in this region. So it's a case control study wherein we looked at the genome-wide variation of single nucleotide polymorphism. And we found that there was something abnormal, some SNPs in the surface of the cell, and that's in a transport protein. So if this abnormality exists, some gate on the surface of the cell remains open. So we have solved one problem. At least that there is something that is getting inside the cell to produce this cancer. Now, what is it that is going in?
Okay.
Is the next part of the study. It's on. We have got some 1 or 2 leads, but we need to run larger studies in population.
And you mentioned about role of TMC in Asian countries and BIMSTEC countries. I think African countries also, a lot of things have been done by TMCs.
Yes.
I know some of the African countries, first generation oncologists were trained by TMC. The very first generation oncologists, the very first oncologists. So you may maybe brief.
I missed out on
the
that.
benefit of larger audience.
On an average, about if I were to calculate now, about 400 experts from Africa have been trained at Tata Hospital, anywhere from 3 months to 2 years duration. And they are running cancer care in African countries. There are no other training that happens for these doctors, and their efforts to send their doctors to Europe and to United States have failed miserably because not more than 2% of who went for training came back. And those who came back went back again for the simple reason the kind of patients that are treated there and they learnt on didn't exist in the country of their origin. So when they came back, they found that what they have learnt is not utilizable. So they went back. Whereas when they came to India and learned, they were effective at the ground. So now there are at least 13 African countries who are seeking our help for training of their doctors, nurses.
Presently.
There is some comments in the chat box. Can you read? Sir, can I ask you?
From Sharma, regarding development of continuous hydro therapy machine, which will bring down cost from 25% to 90%, utilizations with an accelerator. On alpha acetylenium production is needed for an hour with 200 megawatts total machine needed. This is what I'm.
Yes, I mean we can reduce the cost. We did reduce the cost from 350 crores to about 250 crores, but that's the cost of a proton machine today. I'm sure it will reduce further as more numbers get sold. Presently, globally, there are not more than 70 machines, proton machines across the globe. Whereas linear accelerators are 200 in India itself.
There is another question from Dr. Rupa, AMD. He says, I just wanted to know that if you produce a radioisotope using cyclotron and reactor, is there any effect on the treatment, like in case of targeted therapy, so that it necessitates production by only one of them and not the other?
Well, physics person will be able to answer that question better because not every isotope will be produced by cyclotron. For some isotopes, we need reactor. It's not possible that the kind of energy that is required to produce these isotopes. And these are quite distinct. Majority of the diagnostic isotopes are produced by cyclotron. Majority of them.
Sir, though I'm a chemistry person, but I will add to your answer further. By high energy cyclotrons, you will be able to get isotopes, very exotic isotopes by P4 and P5N reactions, which are very difficult otherwise. So these accelerators like 100 MeV or so what has been mentioned in the comment are being developed by VCC in collaboration with BRC and BRC and RRCAT, are also involved. So there are different types of isotopes which are produced by reactor or by accelerator. Both are complementary. I would say that. Thank you very much.
I would just add to that. I think if we are going to manufacture or produce a machine, there should be one person who should be given that responsibility, that do it and do it in timelines. Because the industry in the market is ruthless. They will manufacture it before we even complete the whole process. And then they would beat us in price. So we should do it in stipulated time, one. And second, for the first year or two, we should give that in market at a price which no other person can match. Then, the right word I can use, I shouldn't be using, is we can butcher them.
Madam.
I just wanted to ask you, is there a need to introduce cancer screening at certain which regular in the annual health checkup to reduce the load on the cancer hospitals?
This is a very, very important question. Screening is a very seductive idea. The reason is that stage 1 has 80% cure rate and stage 3 has 25% cure rate. Then why can't we diagnose everybody in stage 1? It's not as easy as it is said. And the reason is we need a proof that 20,000 individuals have had that test which diagnoses it early, and another 20,000 individuals shouldn't have it. And then they should be followed for about 5-10 years to understand the number of people dying on either side are different. Such data needs to be made available. The two studies that I mentioned about cervical cancer and breast cancer, exactly similar studies were done. 75,000 women had physical examination of breast and 75,000 women did not have it. At 20-year follow-up, 30% reduction in deaths related to breast cancer. Now, you will ask me, why can't I do a mammogram then? Do it. That also produces 30% reduction in deaths. But it also adds to the number of cancers unnecessarily diagnosed. You will be surprised what is this unnecessary diagnosis. The comparator I would say is if I were to have a CCTV on every signal, traffic signal, I'll find a lot of the cars that cross that little white line and stop. But they have crossed the white line. That is a crime. But am I looking for those individuals? No, I am looking for individuals who will break the signal and while breaking the signal, knock somebody down. I'm looking at a killer kind of activity. When we do with mammography, a lot more individuals are diagnosed who will never have that cancer in their life. In the mammography studies, 50,000 women had mammography and 50,000 women had physical examination. No difference in cure rates. But at the end of 25 years, there were 30% excess cancers in mammography arm. So these 30% cancers are silent on the other side. That this body is a self-healing mechanism. Don't underestimate that. Now, my lecture, the last point was that I work towards my irrelevance. What does that mean? Am I selling something? Yes, I am selling immortality. I don't want my patients to die. Now, if I am selling immortality and I don't want my patients to die, here are these 30% individuals who are not supposed to die. They're not supposed to get cancer manifested. I will start treating only mammographically detected cancer. In 10 years' time, in the city where I am, everybody will say that all patients who go to him never die. But in reality, they are not supposed to have cancer itself, leave alone be dying of cancer. So that's the problem that we have. Today, breast cancer affects age matched, affects approximately 140 women out of 1 lakh women every year in United States. This number in India, in Mumbai, is 30. I don't want my sisters, brother, wives, and wife. Sorry. And mothers ever to get unnecessary stamp of cancer.
Correct.
I would love to see any of the senior individuals who are here. You are interviewing individuals, candidates, 2 individuals, similar merit-wise. One of them has had cancer earlier. The other one has not had. Who would you select?
One without cancer.
There will be a bias. This is rampant today in United States. Rampant. Because so many women have been treated for breast cancer wherein they're not supposed to have had that cancer.
There is one comment, actinium production is the need of power by Malhotra.
Yes. Actinium is one of the excellent isotopes, an alpha emitter. The killing capability would be excellent. And if I can get, it will make world of difference. For prostate cancer especially, very big difference.
Once again, thank you very much, sir, for a nice lecture and for sharing your valuable insights with us. Now, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly present a memorandum to our chief guest as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much.
That would be
That is a gift inside.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Please.
That's almost like the screening machine which finds out what's there inside the bag.
Without opening. Radiation technology.
That's DE expertise. as well. Sorry, please.
Towards conclusion of today's program, I suppose to use vote of thanks. On behalf of HBNI, I extend my deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. Badwe, for sparing his valuable time and delivering today's Dr. Sekhar Basu Memorial Lecture. Thank you, sir. I also thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Murli sir, for his guidance and support in organizing this program. I also thank the Dean for the words of welcome. A special word of thanks to Mrs. Debarati Basu for her gracious presence. Madam, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to you for joining us on this day of remembrance. I thank all the faculty members, colleagues, invited guests, staff, and students, including those who have joined online, for your participation in this program and making this program a grand success. Finally, I thank the organizing team and all those who work behind the scene to make this program possible. With these words, I once again convey my sincere thanks to all of you. Jai Hind. Now let us rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Each time it's a learning experience to listen to you. Each time.
Thank you.
96 also I was there in CC auditorium. Yes.
Mr. Keshavan was also there.
Yeah.
Lots of-
Director of Bioscience Group.
Yes.
Yes.